Why hello there, welcome back to the channel. I am the Pumpkinator. Now if you didn't see, James Gunn just started the new DC universe off with his new show, The Creature Commandos. And now that it's over, I can definitively say that this show is good. The action, the humor. Can you believe the guy who made the Scooby-Doo movies made this shit? That's why today I'm going to do an episode breakdown for every episode in the series. Then I'm going to rate the series as a whole at the end. Just a big heavy spoilers for this cartoon. But let's dive into episode 1, which is named The Collywobbles.
Whose middle name is Bill?
Mine, okay?
The episode starts with Amanda Waller and Rick Flag Sr. Do not confuse him with Rick Flag Jr. because he gone. But they're watching the news as they see a terror group made of incels led by the villain Cersei. And they just crossed the border of Pokordistan. Waller tells them that they gotta protect the princess of Pokordistan because they're friends of the US. So he needs to lead a secret team in there to protect her. So I guess now it's time to meet the team members. Let's start off with the bride. And when I mean my friends were like, oh man, I would hit that. I was like, okay, I get it, dude, I do. But at the same time, it's like she's dead, dog. Like she's a corpse. She does have the best story in my opinion, and she's probably my favorite character. She's also voiced by Indira Varma. Did I pronounce that? Then there's Dr. Phosphorus, a pretty chill skeleton with irradiated skin, played by Alan Tudyk. G.I. Robot, who's the second best character in my opinion because he hates Nazis. He's also played by James Gunn, who also plays the Weasel, and he's pretty cool. I don't really like the way he looks in live action though.
Brother,
And the final member is Nina Mazursky, the fish lady, played by Zoe Chow. I think I like her personality the most, plus I think I can relate to her the most, but more on that later. These guys make up Task Force M, M for Monsters, also known as the Creature Commandos. I'm not gonna do that, bro. Why the fuck would I do it? The team gets acquainted with each other and they fly to Pokordistan and meet a guy named Alexei. And he takes them to the castle, where they see pictures of all the royalty and they're like, oh god, I wonder what this princess... Oh, what a gorgeous young lady. You see, Flag seems to take a liking to the princess. And honestly, I think he might smash. And the guards seem to notice that because they're like, hey yo, you trying to smash the princess? You dying in sight, bro. Nah, I'm just kidding. They go to a banquet that the princess made for them and they start chowing down. The princess really takes a liking to Flag and starts spitting game in front of her dying mom. We learn that she's taking care of the country's affairs while her mom is predisposed. Also, I'm going to point this out, and this might be a little bit of a self-report, but in every single episode, there's a scene that looks like it came from a certain genre of animation, the type of genre of animation that you wouldn't want your parents to see. I'm just saying, if you know, you know, and if you don't, stay pure, kid. The Commandos, guards, and princess talk for a little bit, and it seems really nice. And Flag starts trauma dumping about his dead son. And the princess is like, I know what'll make you feel better. Let me show you something. And when they get up there, he's like, so, what's up? Oh God, no, we gotta skip this. YouTube won't let this. Anyway, she tries to smash, but my guy's like, nope, sorry, this is unethical. Night falls, and we see most of the team is chilling. G.I. is protecting the princess's room. Skilly Boy is singing about doing the forbidden jerk, and the ladies are chilling in their rooms. Well, until the bride jumps out of the window, and Nina follows her. Nina tries to convince her not to leave, but it doesn't work. They take money from a guard and they head towards a cab. We cut back to Flag, who's asleep, until he hears Foster's rooting around in his room looking for the remote. Well, Flag doesn't seem to like this because they start fighting it out. And when I mean they fight, they falling through stuff, they getting hit, my guy gets burnt out. But Flag ultimately comes out on top. And Flag's like, bro, chill. I do not want to use this remote on you because I'm a chill guy. Now stop it. We then see the ladies get to this castle and Nina's like, what is this place? And the bride's like, this is where I was born. We then see that they're being watched by some old lady, and she pulls out a phone. With Zac Efron, I love it. And calls Eric Frankenstein, voiced by David Harbour. And that is where the first episode ends. So let's go into episode 2.
But I love you.
So episode 2 is where they start going into characters' backstories. So from here on out, I'm going to do their backstories first, and then I'm going to do the plot. All right. Episode 2 starts with dismembered lady parts, and Eric Frankenstein is like, Dad, make me a wife. The doctor is like, I don't know about this, son. This shit's grossing me out. But Frankenstein says, if you don't do this, bro, I'm gonna kill your wife. Huh? And he does. And she's like absolutely terrified, bro. And Eric is not making it better. The doctor starts to teach her how to read and write, but Eric says she doesn't really need all that because he's low-key just wants to hit. He starts getting frustrated and attacks her. And when the doctor tries to stop him, he gets choked out and slammed into bed. But ultimately, he's fine. He keeps teaching them things, but they get uncomfortably close. Intimately close. And he gives her a little necklace. Oh, isn't that sweet? And it turns out that necklace that he gifted her is what the bride is actually looking for. And then they bone! Then they freaking bone, bro! In front of Eric, who doesn't take it very well because then he kills the doctor! Now, obviously, the bride isn't too jazzed about this, so she attacks him and runs away. And he's been chasing after her ever since, for hundreds of years. And I just want to say, I think it's absolutely gross that the doctor bangs the bride, not because she's dead, Well, yes, because she's dead. But also it's because, like, that's his child too, right? Ew, right? Also, during this montage, we see Shaggy hitting a J in the background, so I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, let's get back to the main plot. We see Flag leaking out of his nose in a bathroom, pissed as hell. All the commandos that are there are scared of getting shot, but the princess closes the door to tend to his wound. We then cut back to the ladies who are searching for the necklace that I mentioned earlier. And they were followed by the terrorist group, and they tell Cersei that they split up, so she makes a plan. We then cut back to Flag and the princess, and she patches them up good. And then she tries to get to work. Flag is so like, bro, come on, this is inappropriate. I'm like 70. And she's like, so? Fuck it. And I can't believe he's doing this with the commandos on the other side of the door, dog. And honestly, they're bros because when Alexei tries to tell him something, Phosphorus is like, nah, bro, let my guy finish. We then cut back to the ladies and we see that Nina found the necklace, but then they're attacked by Cersei. The other commandos and Alexei start to make their way to the ladies, and then the bride fights Cersei. And like low-key, she cares. She takes out a bunch of the Terror boys and kind of kicks Cersei's ass until she turns her arms into balloons and throws her off a building. Nina, on the other hand, just kind of gets shot. Way to contribute, bro. I'm just kidding. I'm sure you're gonna contribute later on. Yep. The bride's like, damn, sorry, dog. And Nina's like, oh, fuck you, bro. And then they both get knocked out. And that is where episode 2 ends. And now let's jump into episode 3.
Why am I pudding?
Okay, let's start with the backstory. So we see G.I. traveling with Easy Company during World War II. And if you don't know who that is, they're World War II comic book era characters. I'm not gonna go through every single one of them because there's like 7, but G.I.'s got us covered.
Sergeant Frank Rock, Bulldozer. Little Sure Shot, Wild Man. Canary, Four Eyes. Pogman? Ring any bells?
Yeah, no, I don't know who any of those people are.
Anyway, they try to be sneaky through a field, but they get ambushed by a bunch of notch slays. But don't worry, because G.I. is on the scene, and he mows them down. And honestly, I don't know what caliber bullet my guy is shooting to be able to piece them apart like that, but you know what? I'm just glad he's on our side. Anyway, most of them make it out, and they do a cheers to the Tin Man. We then see him 20 years after the war. He's doing a press tour thing, and it's going pretty well. But G.I.'s programming still has him looking out for the Knot Slays, to the point where he like low-key threatens the audience. But it's chill because Dr. William Magnus thinks he has promised, so he takes him to study it. Also, if you don't know who William Magnus is, he's the creator of the Metal Men. I love them so much, and I'm so excited they're already getting set up this early on. So, pop off, James Gunn. You're killing it, dog. Magnus sees G.I. as an AI system, so he wants to chill and study him for a bit. When he starts talking, he wants to know what G.I. would want to do other than his main directive of killing Notch Slays. And he says he wants to chill with gang, bro. Magnus says, sorry, bro, they're gone, but you're gonna help me make a new wave of robots. We then see G.I. in a pawn shop as a collector named Sam Fitzgibbons buys him. And Sam is played by Michael Rooker. And I knew eventually Michael Rooker was going to show up because of the James Gunn project, but I just kind of wish he was like a better character. Anyway, he buys him, he takes him in, and everything's chill. They're watching movies and chilling with cats until one day Sam wants to take him to meet some new people. When they get there, G.I. looks around and he's like, wait a minute. Until they officially start their function, and G.I.'s like, oh, bet it's free range. And he mows them all down. And then after that, they charge him as a man. Bro, what the fuck do you mean you charge him as a man? He's a robot. Time is nothing to him. Okay, main plot time. The Commandos and Alexei make it to the castle and they try to save the ladies, but it turns out they're just fine. They're just tied up. Flag is like, y'all are good? Why would they leave you alive? Until he realized that they wanted them to be away from the castle. So they start to rush back. We then cut back to the princess and he's woken up by the guard. And he's gonna save her life. Oh, well, he would've. The incels see her and chase her down. While she runs away, she sees her, I'm assuming, highly trained knights get taken down by a bunch of incels. How, bro? I know cause plot, but how? She gets caught by this gross guy, and the little one is like, just kill her, dude. But she scratches up his face real good and makes her hasty escape. Then she locks herself in her room while they're beating on the door. The Commandos make it on the scene and they make quick work of the incels. Like, oh God, just look at him. He melts the bullets, just come out! However, the incels have more firepower and they pin them down. And G.I. is like, yo, bro, are these not slaves? And Flag's like, yeah, buddy, go to town. And he does, bro. He starts taking them all out. He even starts hovering, and he's doing so good until he gets blown up. Rest in peace, soldier. Turns out the person who blew him up was Cersei. Cutting back to the princess, she gets a blicky and she shoots both the incels. And it seems like she's safe until Cersei comes in and just starts blasting her. The princess begs for her life and says she'll give her anything she wants, but Cersei's like, bet, I want you dead, bitch. But the Weasel comes in and saves her by tackling Cersei through a window. When they land, Weasel kind of tears her up, bro. And Foster is like, yo, let me get mine, and burns her face. Nina finds G.I. and is like, bro, I'm gonna miss you, cuz. And G.I.'s like, yo, I gotta fight Notch Slays with you, dog. I'm dead. When they stop beating on Cersei, they're like, bro!
You've doomed
the world!
And that is where episode 3 ends. Let's go into episode 4.
You want a coffee or something?
I'll have tea.
No, his backstory is a little shorter, so this is going to be pretty easy to cover. It starts with these kids and they find him while they're playing on the playground. And everything is cool, they're all playing. Well, it is until this fugly guy sees him and thinks that he's a werewolf or something. So he calls the cops and he grabs his gun. Somehow the playground doors are open and the kids start looking around inside the school. They find alcohol in one of the teacher's desks, which honestly, I'm not even gonna judge. It should be hard. And then the kids go into the basement and start playing with the matches. Then these dumb kids drop the matches on the alcohol and the papers, which catches fire. Mr. Foley comes in and starts shooting at the weasel, but accidentally hits a tanker. And they all blow up, killing everyone.
Except for the cute one.
Weasel tries to get her out and the cops start shooting at them. Which, like, you might hit the kids, but whatever. I don't know, these are the most realistic cops I've ever seen. Weasel almost gets the girl out, but the cops shoot him and pin him down.
And let the fire debris crush the girl?
When I saw this with my friends, they said this was awfully sad, but also, like, I don't know. I might be desensitized just because I read a lot of comic books and there's, like, a lot of sad backstories, but fuck, I don't know. Anyway, back to the plot! Flag and the princess be making out. She's like, come back and see me, dog. But they gotta take Cersei back to the US and find out what's going on. Alana's like, why don't you just kill her? But Flag says that's not what they do in the US. And she's like, damn, okay. Well, I like you, dog. But I guess Flag's got post-nut clarity because he's like, nah, and he walks away. We then see Weasel's lawyer, and she's questioning Economos.
But he keeps lying and says he doesn't know where he is. But I don't think the playing chin-up's gonna help his case.
She takes him and tries to work on his case and shows him pictures of the kids that died in an explosion. Okay, and before I say this, I would like to say I do like the Weasel. However, that is clearly an animal dog. There's no way he would have a trial. They would just put him down. I'm sorry. Anyway, he eats a picture and she doesn't really get anywhere. Shocker. We then cut to Waller and Flag and they bring Cersei to interrogate her. And Cersei's like, that bitch evil, cuh. That's why I tried to kill her. And Waller's like, prove it. All right, Bet, come here. All right, what you got? What? Oh my God! It's the end of the world! Cersei shows Waller the future, and which makes her freak the fuck out. To confirm her suspicions, she calls in a specialist, Dr. McPherson, who says that she's telling the truth. That's enough for Waller though, because she tells him to lie to Pakolistan and say there's another threat, so that the Commandos can come and kill the princess. But Flag's like, yo, don't kill my bitch, dog.
But she's like, I'm gonna.
We then cut to Commandos back in jail, and we see that Nina's getting bullied by other monsters. The bride sticks up for the fish girl by beating the crap out of the monkey man, and now the bride and Nina are like besties. John comes in and is like, yo, get ready, we're going back to Pakolistan, because you gotta kill the princess. Flag tries to tell the princess that her life is in danger, but there's a language barrier over the phone, so he's not getting anywhere with that way. When he gets home, Frankenstein comes out of nowhere and just attacks him.
They go at it for a while and they start breaking stuff. And he threatens to shoot Frankenstein in the eye until he calms down.
They start talking for a little bit and Flag convinces him to help him save the princess in exchange for a good word with the bride. And then they become
Best friends.
Also, how could Flag just sell out the bride like that? Like it's very clear that Frankenstein is not a mentally well man, and you're just gonna sell the bride out like that? That's crazy. We then see the Commandos on their way back to Pakolistan, and that's where episode 4 ends. Let's hop into episode 5.
I still have this shotgun woman, don't tempt me.
So this is Frankenstein's episode, and we see what happens to him after the bride beats him up and sets him on fire. He escapes the castle and falls into a river, and he floats down the stream. This is where a gypsy woman named Bogdan and her dog Ivan finds him. They take him home and they start tending to his wounds, and he's like, bro, what are you doing? And she's like, gypsy shit. I was like, okay, cool.
Oh, that feels nice, yeah.
As he starts getting better, he finds out that she's blind, and he's like, what? Are you alive? And she tells him to imagine his bride. And she says that type of beauty is what she sees every single day. And when he's fully healed, he's still there, and he hunts for the gypsy lady.
Frank is like, I love guns. And he also thanks Bogdan for letting him stay with him. But she's like, this isn't just a place where you can stay, man. This is your home.
Me and Ivan are the happiest we've ever been in ages because of you, even though you're grumpy. And it's a very nice moment. But it does not last for long, because Frankenstein starts packing to leave, which breaks the gypsy's heart. He says he has to find the bride, but she's like, bro, she doesn't love you, dog. And he's like, nah, you just don't get it, bro. You just don't get it, just playing hard to get it. She tells him she doesn't want to be alone anymore. He's like, I would never leave you alone. And he beats her to death. Then he goes on his way. Plot time! Frankenstein and Flag are monitoring Dr. McPherson, and she's acting a little, I'll say unprofessional. She starts flirting with her students and starts talking about lesbians and Themyscira, which immediately tips off that there's something off. They decide to look into her more to make sure that she knows what she's talking about. Flag tries to contact the princess again, but again, no luck. The Commandos make it to Pakolistan, and Alexei is a bit suspicious that there's another threat there, especially because they won't tell him what it is. We cut back to Frank and Flag, and they made it to the doctor's house to search it, but Frank is like, a lady's walking a cat, dog. That's a bad omen. But Flag doesn't really pay it any mind. When they get to the house, they search the place and they find the doctor is dead. Flag says the doctor they saw earlier must have been an imposter and is working with Cersei to try to get the princess killed. Flag tries to call the princess and finally gets a hold of her and warns her. But the fake McPherson makes it to the house and now they gotta hide. Cutting back to the Commandos. Douglas gets a call saying the Commandos want to kill the princess and he takes them away from the castle. Fake McPherson comes in and feeds the cat and hops on MK1, which if you ask me, is probably the worst MK I've played in a while. But they soon find out that that's Clayface and he finds them immediately. He beats the crap out of Flag and he breaks his back. And he almost beats Frank, but Frank's able to electrocute him by grabbing the outlet. The Commandos get ambushed and Foss kills Alexei. And I felt kind of sad because I liked Alexei. And the Commandos start to fight back, but they ultimately get separated. And that's where episode 5 ends. And now we're on episode 6.
Skeleton.
So this is Dr. Phosphorus' episode. So his whole deal was when he was still Alan Tudyk, he was working on research for cancer treatment that wouldn't harm the patient. But he took money from some shady businessman named Rupert Thorne, wanted to give the research overseas to our enemies. So Alan gave him fake results. Well, they found out and they killed his family and shoved him into the nuclear thing, which turned him into Dr. P. And he killed everyone involved with his family's murder. And he takes over Rupert's operation. Well, until Batman shows up. Nina and the bride meet up and they're forced to hide in a brothel. When the guards knock on the door to search the place, they force the ladies to help them. So they let them hide there until the guards leave. When they do, their leader voiced by Shohreh Aghdashloo.
Shohreh Aghdashloo.
Who's been in a lot of things lately. She was just in The Penguin, but I don't think she's coming back, because, fired. Frank gets on a plane and kills all the people, and tells the pilots to take him to Pokrolistan, or his head will get just like everybody else. The Weasel gets to chill with some wolves, and he makes some friends. And Dr. P sneaks into a house and reminisces about his old life. But he gets interrupted by being discovered by a little girl. He gives her some food and he debates if he should murk her or not, because he doesn't want her to yap. But ultimately, he leaves the family alone. Back to the brothel. The bride is like low-key slut-shaming them, and like, bro, chill. They're just trying to make a living. But then two brothers, the Crack brothers, and they want to have some fun. But it turns out it's only fun for one of them because they all hear her scream. The ladies come in and discover that he is hurting her, and they all try to help. But it turns out that the Crack brothers are meta-humans. The other brother comes in, the first brother says, "Kill them all!" Before they can even do anything, Bride just shoots the guy in the freaking nog. And then she comes for the original guy. And she does a sonic sway and takes his heart out. Good. After this, the ladies leave and they head towards the castle, where the four of them all meet up, and they all do this cool CGI walk. And honestly, it looks really good. The only reason why I was able to tell was because of the shadows on Weasel's arms. And that is where episode 6 ends. And now it's time for the last episode.
Still up to your old tricks, my inamorata.
The episode starts with a baby being born, but there's like a big issue. She's born with her lungs outside of her body. The dad doesn't seem to mind too much though, because he's big smart and he decides he's gonna try to fix her. We then see Frankenstein on his way to the castle, but first he gushes about the bride, and the guards are on the lookout for the Commandos. And once one of them gets off the radio, the Commandos kill him. And like why, bro? You could've just knocked my guy out. And Nina feels the same way because she's like, dude, that was like crazy violent. They start looking for a way to get to the princess, but they notice that they're not the only monster that's been at the castle. But they get interrupted by Frank and his love shark. Bride shoots the crap out of them, which alerts the guards slightly. They jump down and the bride shoots him one more time. It's like, leave me the fuck alone. We then cut to when Nina was a baby and she has some contraption on her chest to help her breathe. The dad's pretty chill, but the mom, on the other hand, not so much. She says this is not a life for a child and they should have just pulled the plug, but the dad's like, dude, come on, that's our kid. She's like, nah, that's your kid. She don't even look at me. And he's like, well, it may help if you would look at her, right? And then Nina's mom leaves. The Commandos make it to the wall where there's the least amount of guards. And Phosphorus absolutely, he like melts his jaw. And then he starts melting the wall. Cutting back to Nina when she's a kid, we see that she's struggling to breathe when she's trying to walk. The dad's like, don't worry, because I found a new treatment so you won't have to wear that machine anymore. He wants to change her very DNA so that she can breathe even with the fluid in her lungs. But something goes wrong. The lungs start freaking, and she starts turning into a fish. The dad's like, yo, what the fuck, and grabs her and puts her in a sink and fills it with water. And we then see the princess come out and she says she's gonna take her morning swim. But Sergei's like, bro, there's a hit on your head, dog. What you doing? But she don't care. The Commandos make it in, and of course she's on top of the hill right where they are. Weasel sees her and he starts freaking out a little bit because he likes her, which almost gets him caught. Phosphorus is like, should we kill him? And they're both like, bro, no, what the fuck? We then cut back to Kid Nina, and her dad wants to put her into school. The principal's like, yeah, dog, why not? And asks Nina if she has any questions. And she says she wants to play lacrosse. And lacrosse she does for like 2 seconds before she gets made fun of for looking the way she does. I've been there, dog. Anyway, she gets monstrously bullied for it. Also been there, dog. We then cut to Flag, who wakes up and Waller's like, dude, what happened? And he's like, you were wrong, I'm sleepy. And she calls John to get McPherson's address. We then come back to the Commandos, and Nina's like, how are we supposed to get to her? And they all look at her. We then see childhood Nina again, and she sees a handsome young man smiling at her. She blushes until she finds a frog in her locker, which makes her cry, and ultimately makes her decide to run away from home. And honestly, this part makes me really sad because this dad really just wanted the best for his daughter, and it's so sad. Anyway, she goes into the sewer and jumps into pool water, and we see a cool transition of her hitting the water and the princess doing the same. They convince Nina that she can kill the princess, and she gets into the water. Fish, fish, mine. We then see a younger Nina, and someone's taking pictures of her in the wild. Apparently, there's been sightings of a fish creature for like 3 years. The dad sees her on the news and obviously is going to go after her. But when they catch her and the dad shows up, he forces his way to her and is like, I love you, kiddo. And then the cop shoots him. Like, what the frick? Why? There's so many people around, you could have hit them. Most realistic cop I've ever seen, though. Anyway, he dies, big sad, let's move on. Waller and Economos goes to McPherson's house. When they get in there, they realize that they've been bamboozled. And they just possibly started a war for no reason. And now they're gonna try to make it right. Nina is about to kill the princess, but Weasel starts freaking out and tries to protect her. Nina tries to clutch, but the princess straight up just stabs the crap out of her and kills her. She kills Nina. That's so sad. This devastates the bride, and they all get caught, and they're all about to get killed, but Sergei comes in with the fun with Waller on the other one. And she's like, stand down, which basically means Nina died for nothing, which pisses off Phosphorus and the bride. The bride, on the other hand, says she'll be right back, and then CJ walks down the hallway until she runs into the princess. The princess is like, I get why you were gonna try to kill me, dog. You just thought the world was ending. The bride's like, nah, bitch, you evil. I saw Clayface on the tape. You seduced Flag to get him on your side. Then you wanted us to kill Cersei, but we wouldn't. Then you sent one of your spies to spy on us. And then you sent Clayface to kill McPherson, to make it seem like she wasn't who she was, but she was who she was when she talked to Waller. You following? And she's like, you know what, bro? I ain't gonna kill you because of all that, though. I'm killing because you killed my fucking friend. Bye. And she caps the princess. And God, the bride is so cool, dog. I really like her. I mean, come on. She's British and somehow Russian? Come on. Anyway, she's like, all right, guys, let's get the heck out of here. Spikes an old guy and then cries. And that is called a mission accomplished. When she gets back to Belle Reve, John tells her that Waller made a whole wing for the prison for them. And we see the new team of the Creature Commandos. Let's see what we got here. We got some new faces. We got a Bat Bitch. Ooh, we got the Mummy. We got Mummy Guy. He's knitting. G.I. Robot returns. Let's go! Plus King Shark. He's a shark. And that is where the series ends. Oh, wait, hold on. There's an after credits scene where Frankenstein's still alive and he's drinking bird shit soup with another gypsy lady. All right, now it's over. And honestly, I gotta keep it a stack. I think it's a really great start to the new DC universe. I really like it when obscure characters become more mainstream because, you know, I shouldn't be the only one that knows these characters. I think everybody should. Besides, usually it kind of feels like DC really relies heavily on Batman and Superman, maybe The Flash, but it's just good that they're branching out just a little bit. I also like some of the theming and like their dynamics. Like the bride and Frankenstein's dynamic is very obviously like toxic masculinity, like how he feels entitled to her even though she clearly does not want him, and that's probably why he got cucked, you know. I also think that everybody did a really good job in their performances. I'm actually really sad that Nina died though. But yeah, that's what I have to say about the series, and I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. So let me know. Let's get this video to 70 likes. And let me know if there's any other shows that you want me to cover down below. I'll do The Flash, but if I do The Flash, I'm gonna do it episode by episode. Wait a second. Turns out past Marcus forgot to rate the series. You know, the whole reason why he made the video. Current Marcus rates the series as a 9 out of 10. I would give it a 10 out of 10, but the Dr. Phosphorus episode kind of felt like a filler episode. And it's not Alan Tudyk's fault, it just, you know, sometimes it's just pacing. But take it away, Past Marcus. Do your thing. I'll see you guys in the next video. And make sure you tell your family that you love them. Bye-bye now.